Hello, my name is McCoy Oatman. I serve on the Nez Perce Tribal Executive Committee. I'm running for seat 2. I just wanted to start talking about my family. I'm a direct descendant of old Chief Looking Glass, a 7th generation descendant. I'm also a descendant of Chief Timothy. My parents are Paula Moody and Adrian Moody, and the late Kenneth Oatman. My grandparents are Lois and Ron Oatman, and the late Jerry Walker on my maternal side. On my paternal side, James Havel and Lotus Sublette. I have 3 children, and I'm happily married to Augustina Oatman. Growing up as a youth, I had the fortune of growing up on all areas of the reservation. I split my school time between Lapwai and Kamiai, and I did graduate from Kamiai in 1996. I did spend a lot of time up on the prairie in my youth, spending my summers at Talmuks, and I've also served on the Talmuks board. And recently, my wife comes from the Arthur family, so spent a lot of time at Mud Springs as well, enjoying that time with my family and with my kids. Growing up, I was raised by my grandparents a lot of the time. Lois and Ron spent a lot of time in Kamiai, and also my father. He passed away when I was at a young age, and at times I miss him and miss his counsel, but I think he's left a legacy for me. He's a former NPTEC member, as well as my Ala, Loda. She spent a lot of time at General Council, as many of you know, and I know she helped with the fish committee when that got started as well. And so, with that, I look to what examples that they've left for me. The 12 years that I've served on NPTEC, I've served about in every role. I think other than Assistant Secretary Treasurer, I've chaired various subcommittees. And the main reason I wanted to be well-rounded is that I wanted to understand our government structure and how that functions, and I think I was able to do that. I represented the tribe in a USV Oregon management agreement, and in 2012 I was appointed to the Pacific Salmon Commission, which was a presidential appointment which started under the Obama administration, and I continue to serve in that role, and also served as a negotiator for the most recent agreement that we have with Canada. So that was leads me into some of the milestones that we've been able to accomplish at the tribe. I can't take credit alone. I've worked with a lot of good staff, a lot of good past NPTEC members and present. We've purchased a lot of land in the last 10 to 12 years. We started out when I first got on council with about 12% ownership, and I believe we're up above 16%. So I think a 4% increase is pretty good, and I think our goal should be to become majority owners of our own reservation. Over the time, we've been able to get about numerous per capitas, and I think the Salazar settlement was one of the largest per capita distributions to date, as far as I know. We also have a Nimutu Health Endowment, which they receive $250,000 every 4 years, and $750 on the 5th year for direct services to tribal members, as well as to purchase any equipment they may need. Another big thing that we're able to do was create the Scholarship Endowment Fund. We doubled scholarships, but also we were able to take that off of gaming revenue, so it's solely funded by the endowment now, and that'll just continue to increase, and hopefully in the future we'll be able to quadruple what we give out for scholarships, and maybe one day give out full rides. We also created a founding board member of the West Eknamet nonprofit, and we've been getting grants through that avenue, and also we created the CDFI, the Community Development fund, and hopefully we can grow that into a credit union into the future so that we can do our own lending and not have to go to town or to any other private lenders. So just as being on council, I think the next step that we need to do as a government, as a tribe, is to take a look at how we're structured. I think we're living off an old model, and I think that's what people get frustrated with. I think there's some reform that we could do, some constitutional reform. So I'm willing to sit down with our general council and with tribal members, and I think we need to start to get to work on that. There's a lot of things that we could change, because right now we're working with a cookie cutter constitution, that was given to us by the federal government. So I think it's time for us to develop our own, and I think that will help us to deal with a lot of dysfunction that we have, and for the future generation we can provide a better path for them and clean up a lot of things that we see that need to be cleaned up, so that they can have a good platform for them in their future, because we have a lot of future leaders out there, and they're waiting to step up and to fill these roles, and I think we can help them and help them get off to a good start. So once again, I'm McCoy Timuni Oatman. I'm running for seat 2. I look forward to your vote. That's